Banks refuse to approve your loan. What would you do? Two black men came up with a brilliant solution: buy the building that houses the bank's headquarters and become the bank's landlord. This way, the bank would have to think twice before rejecting their loan applications. However, since they were black, they couldn't negotiate the deal directly. So they found Tom, a white construction worker, and gave him a complete makeover. They taught him how to play golf, proper dining etiquette, basic math skills, and real estate knowledge. After a month of intensive training, when Tom put on his custom-tailored suit, he actually looked like a wealthy young gentleman. Mike strategically arranged for Tom to play golf with the bank owner. With his excellent golf skills, Tom quickly won over the bank owner. When the time was right, they immediately set up negotiations between Tom and the owner, anticipating that the owner would deliberately inflate the asking price. They came prepared. The protagonist counted the lit windows in the building after dark to calculate the vacancy rate, then used the building's annual operating costs and profit margins to determine its true value. They calculated every possible number in advance and had Tom memorize them for the negotiations. No matter how much the owner tried to mislead him, Tom could provide accurate figures ahead of time, making the owner think he was dealing with a mathematical genius. In the end, they acquired the building for $1.56 million instead of the original asking price of $2.5 million. From then on, every time the protagonist entered the building, the bank owner would come over to shake his hand. The bank manager who had previously given him a hard time was completely stunned. With their own bank building, their real estate business flourished even more. They went on a buying spree in white neighborhoods, helping accomplished black families move into white communities, effectively breaking down racial segregation. Soon after, they were even received by the vice president. Later, when the protagonist returned to his hometown, he found that black people there were still living at the bottom of society. Even the drinking fountains were segregated into blacks only and whites only. Faced with such injustice, the protagonist decided to help his fellow black community members, using the same strategy. With the protagonist and Mike working behind the scenes and Tom handling the contracts, they successfully acquired a local bank. They then provided substantial loans to promising local black entrepreneurs, helping them start businesses and achieve self-reliance, gradually improving the living conditions of the local black community. But the good times didn't last. The white loan manager soon noticed irregularities in the bank's accounts. He secretly followed Tom and discovered that the bank's real owners were actually two black men, and he had been working for black people all along. Feeling deeply insulted, he immediately took photos as evidence and reported them to the office of the comptroller of the currency. Soon, investigators arrived to audit the books. The investigation revealed numerous illegal loans made to black borrowers. The bank was immediately shut down, and the protagonist and Mike were arrested. In court, an all-white jury berated them for using white people's deposits to benefit black people. The protagonist could no longer contain his anger.
You can't get a loan, you can't own a home. You can't start a business.
Mr. Garrett, you have been warned.
Which means you can't build wealth.
Mr. Garrett!
And you're excluded from the American dream.
However, they ultimately couldn't overcome the malice of human nature. The court found them guilty of misusing bank funds and sentenced them to 3 years in prison. All 177 properties under their names were confiscated. But what nobody knew was that just before their assets were seized, Mike had secretly purchased 2 properties in the Bahamas. After their release from prison, they used these 2 properties to make a comeback in the Bahamas. Later, they returned to Texas and continued